What's up, everybody? So this is the second video that I'm currently going to upload today. Like I said, if you guys find this stuff interesting, go ahead and subscribe to me. That way you get the instant notification every time I upload a new video. Like I said in the video prior to this one, today we'll be discussing paranormal gifts. So what these are gifts found in the genetics from your family. And each time and each generation that they slowly progress or pass on from the father or mother, depending on which side has it and which side has the dominant gene, these gifts are passed down to the children. But not all of the children, 9 times out of 10, get it. What that means is these are genetic genes that actually run through this family bloodline that actually go to which one is the most dominant. In some cases, no, all the children get them. In other cases, which are about 50-50, only one child receives it. Now, these gifts are crazy, fantastic, and they're super interesting. They're called a sixth sense, or a third eye. What a sixth sense is well, it's pretty much anything from being able to see the dead to be able to hear them to dream casting and loads of stuff. And what really makes this interesting is that each factor in it has different resemblances to each other. They all involve the paranormal. Now, what I'm going to be talking about right now, how I'm going to start this off, is I'm going to talk about seeing the dead. Now, this is a very common gift that a lot of people through the genetic bloodline actually receive. This is probably one of the more common gifts among the others that people do receive. What it is that you pretty much, you get a sensation, like a little trickle down your spine every time you sense something that is not living. Ever get that feeling like somebody's watching you through your window or through your curtains? Well, sometimes, that could actually be a thing. It might not be an actual person you can see out there. Or sometimes it's in your closet or in your room. But the fact remaining is that same trickle down the spine you get when somebody's watching you. The same trickle down the spine effect that you get when you're feeling a presence that isn't living. Now, a lot of times, these spirits, they just want to be heard, or they want to be seen. They just want your attention for the most part. That's not always the case, but 9 times out of 10 that is the case. And the fact remaining is that it's not just a trickle down the spine. Sometimes you hear them, sometimes you see them. But keep in mind that, that being said, most people that do see spirits, that doesn't mean you actually have that gift. Because spirits can be very indecisive triggers. Meaning, in other words, a spirit shows itself when it wants to be seen. So, like, if it has the power or enough juice in its, we'll call this a battery, it actually presents itself to another. This is not the effect that a person with a sixth sense that actually sees the dead has. A person who sees the dead doesn't constantly see them. It's not a on and off switch either. It just happens. Through all of the years of research I've done for this type of thing, it's more like a cycle. And how it starts is that you get the weird effect, you get the trickle down the spine. And then sometimes it goes into you're hearing them. And then other times it goes straight from that to being able to see them. And what this causes is a haunting. Specifically, the spirit or ghost gets attached to you. It a lot of times doesn't realize it's dead, or doesn't know it's dead. Fact remaining is sometimes these spirits do know they're dead, but they don't know how to leave. Meaning that if they don't know how to leave, they don't know how to go towards the light or go where they're supposed to go. So that's pretty much being able to see the dead. It's like I said, it's not a trigger object. Anything can trigger it. Um, a certain memorabilia inside your room, anything you touch can trigger it too. And then oftentimes, it's usually the spirit that triggers it. So a lot of the times, if it walks by you, you automatically see it, and you're not creeped out because it looks like a normal person, except for these things are called apparitions. Apparitions are the most of the time they're more like hollow out figures that you can see through. But in some cases, they can be solid like a rock or solid like you and I. Apparitions are very, very good photographic evidence and visual evidence to actually have on a investigation. People who go on search for the paranormal are called paranormal investigators. And what they're really doing is it's really not that hard. They're just trying to prove that there is life after death. And how they do that is by asking intelligent questions and receiving intelligent answers. These are what we're looking for. And intelligent answers through a wide spectrum through the white noise. We call these Class A EVPs. A lot of times these can be heard just through an EVP recorder, a camcorder, sometimes your phone, and sometimes just in the ear. It actually just depends on how powerful the spirit is. But going from that, I'll save that topic for another day. But going right into another gift that is genetically passed down the bloodline is called dream casting. Now, this is something that's a very uncommon gift to have. Not a lot of people have this, and it's not as common as the one I just literally named off. And the idea behind dream casting is when you go to sleep at night, you're in a unique sleep state called sleep paralysis, meaning you can't move the body and you're half asleep, half awake, but your body has shut itself off while your mind's still running. And then eventually, you kind of slip into a deeper state of mind. And what this allows is that it allows a portal from one side of the world to another. Now, that doesn't seem near as far-fetched when I explain it this way. You fall asleep, and it's kind of like having a really bad dream or a really good dream, and depending on the dream you're having depends on the portal you're opening. So for a dreamcaster, inside the mind all the time, they can open portals inside their own home and let something in that they had no intentions of letting in, and didn't even realize they let it in. So in other words, this could be anything inside a dreamcaster's dream. This could be a knock on the door inside the dream, and they open it. They already let it in. There's now a ghost, a spirit, something inside the room. Now, this isn't always the case, but most of the time that's how it happens. And they don't even know that they're doing it because they don't even register these gifts. Because, like I said, it's a very uncommon gift to have, and it's passed down through the genetic line. So in other words, a lot of people don't know they're dreamcasters, and they may never know. But the fact remaining is like I say, it's just like a normal dream, except for you're actually talking to the undead and not knowing you are talking to the undead. Pretty much, spirits can actually access this. It could start off small too. A lot of times dreamcasters don't even know they let something in until something weird starts happening, such as the keys keep moving from the place where you hung them up at, or a bowl slides off the counter and breaks, but you left it in the middle of the counter. And then it could be lights flipping. Any type of activity like that usually suggests a ghost or a spirit activity. The other unique gift is called, trying to think of it, I want to say psychic, but they're not psychics. They can't see somebody's future, and they can't tell somebody's future. What these people are is that they're walkthroughs. Typically, before a paranormal investigation, you walk through with somebody who can do this. And they usually can sense spirits. Kind of like the one I was talking about before, except for not only can they sense them and have that trickle down the spine effect, but they can also see and hear them. A lot of times that these people, they actually walk with somebody else who can sketch what they're seeing, and it's very plain as day. And a lot of times in these situations, if the person is a real deal person that actually has this real deal gift, then a lot of times if you go to the library and you try and match that picture, you'll actually come up with a death certificate for somebody, and you'll be able to find out the name, where they lived, and how they died by that way. But see, the hard thing about that is if you try and look for somebody back in the 1820s, they didn't really keep their death certificates up to date near as often as they should have. You got to keep in mind that it wasn't accessed by computer in that day of age. So a lot of times they had to actually write it out, and it was typically in old police reports, and then followed up with a death certificate afterwards. And now a lot of times these files were kept in a filing system. Now they're open usually at libraries nowadays. But like I said, it's not something you can just type in the computer and search up. You know, you actually have to go through the hard work to be able to do it. They're called paranormal seers, or paranormal psychics is another word for them. Typically, these people also decide if it's too dangerous for you to live here, or if it's safe, meaning that the spirit or spirits typically won't harm you. That's just 3 out of a lot of paranormal gifts. Like I said, these are actually received through the genetic bloodline of your family. Now, your mother could have it, and then if you have her dominant trait, you might be matched up with it. But just because you have her dominant trait doesn't mean your brothers or siblings do, or sisters. It doesn't mean anything. But like I said, it's interesting stuff. Let's see. Another one that I found interesting, I'll have to do a little bit more research on it because I don't know quite if this is an actual legit thing. And I know I talked about in the previous video that I would do just facts, but you know, this seemed like a really good thing that I just couldn't pass up. And you know, if it's real, then you know there was no harm done. If it's not real, I could do a little bit more research behind it and find out if this is actually fake or if it's a real deal. But the fourth one, which is just as uncommon as the other one, is called Demon's Eye, supposedly. And supposedly what it does is it allows you to see through somebody's soul. So you know that every person in the world judges another person the first 10 seconds after they meet him, right? This is pretty much what it is. You know, you walk up to somebody who's either living or not living, and you judge them within the first 10 seconds. And it's almost like you're gazing into their soul, kind of like Ghost Rider. He can dictate if you're a bad soul or if you're a good soul. If you're a bad soul, then he takes your soul down to, well, hell. But if you're a good soul, generally he just punishes you by a slight burn, maybe if you're lucky. It's literally pretty much that. He pretty much, a Demon's Eye allows you to show the person or thing their own soul, just like Ghost Rider. And pretty much what it does is it just psychs them out. It just pretty much takes them off the board, dumbs them down a little bit by a little bit. But like I said, I don't know if it's an actual gift. It is interesting though. Like I said, I'll have to do a little bit more research, and then when I do a little bit more research, the next video that I upload, I will actually tell you guys if it's actually fact or if it's just something somebody made up. Like I said, it was interesting stuff though. I won't go through all the gifts today. What I will do is just go through those 4, because the first 3, they're probably one of the most well-known paranormal gifts that there probably is. There's loads of others, but for the most part, seeing the dead, being able to describe the dead, being able to sense them, feel them, you know, tell people if they're good or bad, you know, also dreamcasting. Like I said, dreamcasting is not a particularly common gift, but it's probably a more well-known gift than any others. It is incredibly rare to have, but it's more well-known than something such as a paranormal psychic. Like I said, these gifts, they're not a right, they're actually passed down through the genetic bloodline. Not everybody has these gifts, but if you have these gifts, then you're not too special either. These aren't superpowers. Sometimes these gifts are really, really scary, and sometimes they're really freaky to have. And a lot of times in a present situation, you don't know how to go about it. Like I said, guys, if you guys find these videos interesting, hit the subscribe button, and the next time I upload a video, it will instantly send you a notification every time I upload a video. And next week, I think I'm going to talk about paranormal topics such as spirits, ghosts, vengeful spirits, and probably I'll go through my wish list of what I want to talk to you guys about, and then I'll choose a couple more that I would feel free to talk to. Hope you guys found this interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you, and please subscribe.